What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 13 of Know the Game. It has been a few months since the last episode of Know the Game, and the last episode was a solo one. And as you can see, Gavin is back here for another episode, both
What's
on
up, everybody?
Thanksgiving. Yeah, we're both on Thanksgiving break, so we both have the time out here to do the podcast. Um, just a yeah, let's run down what we're going to talk about today. In the NFL, we'll go over the Thanksgiving games as well as the MVP race. In the MLB, it's free agency time, so the hot stove is very much alive. So we'll go over some signings, some rumors, where predictions of where some guys will end up going, and then in the NBA, Steph Curry is like the best player ever. The Lakers struggles, rookie of the year race, and then college football. We'll talk about the top four teams and some stuff around college football, and then we may perhaps end it off with a little ranking. But yeah, Gavin, let's get this thing started here with the NFL Thanksgiving games. Take it away.
So, yesterday was Thanksgiving. So, a lot of NFL games, were yesterday. And traditions also with the Lions and Cowboys both playing. Lions was an early game. Guarantee you nobody was up to watch that game because it was Lions against the Bears. Lions had a lead with 1 second left in the game, but the Bears took a field goal to win the game. I think that was the first time I ever actually saw the Bears like make a field goal ever. And the Bears barely beat the Lions 16-14. You know, the Lions continue their struggles this season, and at this point, just stop winning. Just don't even try to win any games. Try to get the first overall pick. To get that defensive end from Oregon. You know, top guy in every single mock draft. But moving over to the Cowboys and Raiders game, Cowboys lost in overtime against the Raiders in 36 to 33, and the Bills destroyed the Saints 31-6, breaking Sean Payton's record for undefeated on holidays.
I mean, beginning with the Lions and Bears game, that game was just so bad, bro. It was horrible. The only reason those two teams are playing on Thanksgiving is because the Lions have to play on Thanksgiving for some reason. Like, just because they've been doing it forever doesn't mean they have to do it now since they suck. Um, that game was just bad because both these quarterbacks that play, Justin Fields didn't play, which was a very weird thing. They didn't say he was out with injury from what I saw. They just didn't start him. They played Andy Dalton, who put up 317 yards, one touchdown, one pick, and Jared Goff, who has been horrible with the Lions ever since getting traded there. He threw two touchdowns on the day. The only points that the Lions put up on the board. I mean, both of these teams they just suck. So there's not really a lot of highlights, I guess you could say there. The Bears go up to 4-7, which doesn't do anything for them, and the Lions still have the worst record in football. Um, yeah, I think the best game of the day, in my opinion, was by far the Raiders and the Cowboys game. Even if that game was the Cowboys versus the refs, at the end of the day, that was like the closest game. Went to overtime. Uh, what else? What more do you have to say, like on this game and the performance you saw from your Cowboys?
Well, you know, going into the season, first of all, I want to say that Greg Zerline sucks. Going into the season, he had back surgery, and the Cowboys are looking at this like, dude, you just had back surgery. Maybe we'll give you a week. The first week, if you're missing a bunch of field goals left and right, we're sorry, but we're gonna have to cut you. Week one, that's what he did. He cost the Cowboys the L in week one, and he's pretty much been, doing that this game too. Like he missed a 59 yarder. I mean, yeah, it's 59 yards, but he had the power. He just hit the crossbar, and then he missed an extra point. Also, Anthony Brown had 4 defensive pass interference calls. That's not really acceptable at all, like, to have 4 defensive pass interference, let alone 4 flags against you as a person. Most of the flags that were called on him were, like, deep balls, and most of them were on, like, 3rd down. Cowboys coulda had a lot of stops, but, Anthony Brown, costing the game for the Cowboys, letting the Raiders drive down the field, and also a lot of, terrible calls, but hey, I'm not here to complain, even though I just
Yeah, I
complained.
mean, Greg Zuerlein has missed 5 field goals this season. That's bad. You don't deserve to be a kicker in the NFL when you're gonna miss that many field goals. He's missed so many in his career. He won in 2015. He missed 10 field goals one season. I don't know how he has a job in the NFL. But for the rest of the game, there was a lot of penalties on the Cowboys, especially late in the game. Anthony Brown really he cost them the game, cost Cowboys the game. Dak played very good though. 32 for 47 with 2 touchdowns, 375. Um, and Michael Gallup, he led the Cowboys in receiving yards. Well, ultimately, it just was the penalties and the struggles that the Cowboys had not getting penalties that hurt them, and the defense too. The defense also hurt the Cowboys in that contest.
Well, like, the Cowboys, they've been doing really good this season. It kinda looks like the AFC West is really hurting them. They beat the Chargers, but they lost to the Broncos, Chiefs, and Raiders. So, the AFC West is pretty much the nightmare for the Cowboys this season. But you have anything to say about the Bills and Saints game? Because the Bills destroyed the heck out of the Saints, 31-6. What do you have to say about that?
I think this was a must-win game for the Bills. The Patriots, coming into last night, were first place in the AFC East at 7-4, and if the Bills didn't win this game, they would have not been in the playoff race currently. They would have been just outside of it, and I mean, it was crucial. The Bills started off the season with a loss, but then they came back and they won a bunch of games, and then they lost to the Jaguars, not even scoring a single touchdown, and then they go out and they lose to the Bu- uh, the Indianapolis Colts. They get stomped on by them. So this was a must-win game for them if they want to stay in the top of the AFC and the AFC East. And they go out and they dominate. Their defense plays shut down. And then Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs show why they are one of the best wide receiver quarterback duos in the NFL.
Um, Moving on to the MVP race in the NFL. You know, honestly, for me, it's around 2 people right now. There's some guys that you can throw in there, but for me, it's between Tom Brady and Jonathan Taylor. Tom Brady has had a terrific year this year so far. I mean, I don't even know what to say about Tom Brady. I mean, if he wins another MVP this year, I don't even know what to say about him. Like, he's not human. And also Jonathan Taylor, I mean, he has been outstanding. He put up 5 touchdowns last week. Jonathan Taylor, it's his 2nd year in the league, and him he's probably the best running back in the league right now. I mean, yeah, you can say Derrick Henry, but we're not count him because he's injured. If Derrick Henry was healthy, he would probably be here instead of Jonathan Taylor if he kept up those numbers that he did before he got injured. But for me right now, it's Tom Brady and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I think it's those two as well. I think if Aaron Rodgers never went out with COVID during the season, I think he would be up here because he's having an amazing season. Kyler Murray, if Kyler Murray hasn't missed the past 3 to 4 weeks with any injuries, he had been balling out just all season. He'd been one of the best quarterbacks in football, and then even Lamar Jackson, but he's missed some time. But these two guys, Brady and Taylor, are the guys that haven't missed any time this season. They're both putting up phenomenal numbers. I mean, Tom Brady already has 3,000 yards. He has 29 touchdowns and 8 picks at 43 years old. We've never seen anything like that, and that alone is an MVP season. But then when you look at Jonathan Taylor, I mean, he already has 3 touchdowns rushing on the season and at 1,000 yards, and we're only entering week 13 on the week 12 on the NFL season. There's a lot of football to be played left. The betting odd favorite right now is Tom Brady. I would not be surprised if Tom Brady wins it, but I definitely think Jonathan Taylor, if this is a year that a running back finally wins MVP, I think this should be the year, and it's got to be Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, like, really, if you look at this year, you know, this year isn't really about the quarterbacks at all. I mean, it's about the other players, like Jonathan Taylor, for example, Cooper Kupp, Trayvon Diggs, Miles Garrett, like all these guys are having terrific, like phenomenal seasons so far, and like all of them except besides Jonathan Taylor are probably not even going to be in the MVP like top 5 consideration. I'm not saying I was a Cowboys fan. I'm not saying Trayvon Diggs deserves to be here because he doesn't, but all the picks he has, but whatever. I mean, Cooper Kupp has been phenomenal for the Rams. So has Matthew Stafford. I mean, he deserves to be here too.
Yeah.
Another guy that you could maybe talk about is Derek Carr, who just had a really good game against the Cowboys. Um, I actually was a believer in Derek Carr. Everybody says he sucks. I said he's underrated, which he is. He's not getting the credit that he deserves. He's been really good this season, but I mean, you can't compare these other guys to what Tom Brady and Jonathan Taylor are both doing right now.
Do you think Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback?
Well, I think there's right now, as of this season, I think he could be a top 10 quarterback as of this season. But like going into the season, I think he'd maybe about like 12 or 13 to 12, maybe an 11. But I mean, going into the season or right now, definitely, yeah. I mean, he's top 5 in passing yards. I mean, he just had a very terrific season. Too bad that the stuff that has happened off the field for his teammates and his coaching staff. But I mean, he can't control any of that. But I mean, Derek Carr, he needs to get the credit that he deserves because he is a really good quarterback, and nobody sees that in him. But
Exactly.
NFL. I mean, there's not really anything much to talk about in the NFL during the season. But
Well,
what?
it is Friday. It is Friday. Um, I guess we can go right now. I mean, I have him pulled up. I'll list the games. You pick who's going to win. Week 12
Ooh,
matchups.
okay. All right, all right.
Pittsburgh Steelers versus Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals at home favored -3.5. Who you got?
Um, you know, Steelers have been struggling a lot this season, whether that's the quarterback, yes, or other stuff going on with them. You know, at this time last year they were undefeated.
Mhm.
Maybe I think this was the week that they lost their first game. But at this time at this time last year they were undefeated, and right now they have a really bad losing record. And the Bengals, who have been one of the most surprising teams this season. Um, I think I'm gonna have to take the Bengals. I mean, at home also, that's an advantage. You're gonna have the rookie of the year in Jamar Chase, our receiver, Joe Burrow. I mean, those two guys have been connecting for a lot of big plays this season. I'm gonna take the Bengals over the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the same thing. I just think the Bengals, they're coming off a win against the Raiders their last week. It's just a good quality win, especially after a bunch of losses. And the Steelers have a lot of holes: quarterback, receiving, offense. A lot of question marks on that team. Next game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers facing off on the road against the Indianapolis Colts.
You know, it's the two MVP leaders right now, and Tom Brady and Jonathan Taylor. You said Tampa Bay's on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bucks have been really. I mean, compared to last season, I don't know. Actually, no. I'm gonna take the Bucks. I mean, there's many reasons why I'm gonna take the Bucks over the Colts. I mean, maybe if Jonathan Taylor has another 5 TD game, obviously, I mean, they're probably gonna win. But you can't leave out Tom Brady and all the other guys that they have, keeping all 22 starters from their Super Bowl team, taking the Bucks.
I'm gonna go with the Colts. The Bucks have struggled on the road this season, and I think the Colts are getting hot at the right time. Jonathan Taylor, I think, might have another big game. I'm not saying he's gonna have another 5 touchdown game. I don't think that's physically possible, but I think they get enough done. Close game against Tampa Bay. Next game we have the Cam Newton-led since Carolina Panthers and the Miami Dolphins at home.
Um, you know, Cam Newton has been a pretty big signing for the Panthers when they signed him. Sam Darnold was good the first 3 games of the season. Everybody was like, he's gonna be so good for the Panthers quarterback of the future. No. Uh, Cam Newton, honestly, I think everybody's overreacting about this big old Cam Newton signing thing, that he's, back, that he's that good or whatever. Like, honestly, yeah. I mean, he rushed for like 2 touchdowns so far, I'm pretty sure, and threw a couple, maybe. I don't know. Cam Newton, the Dolphins, I don't have any faith in this season. They were really good last year, but didn't make the playoffs. They had a winning record, didn't make the playoffs. I do not like the Dolphins this season. I don't know what it is. I just don't know why they're not playing as well as they did last year. Uh, looks like Tua Tagovailoa was not the right choice at all. I'm gonna be taking the Panthers over the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Panthers too. I think the Dolphins are just a really, really bad football team. Surprised they've won 4 games. Next game, Tennessee Titans, best team in the AFC at 8-3, taking on the New England Patriots, one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Patriots are at home.
Well, it depends if are AJ Brown and Julio Jones playing, because if they are playing, that's a different story. You got the best running back possibly in the league out for the rest for things the rest of the season. Um, oh shoot, why am I blanking on the other team they said?
Patriots.
Patriots have been probably the hottest team in football right now with Mac Jones. He could also, be in that offensive rookie of the year hunt, as well as Jamar Chase. I think it's them two, the top for me. Um, Mac Jones, honestly, bro, me and Connor were like, during the draft, me and him were like, bro, if the 49ers pick Mac Jones right here, number 3 overall, we are going to clown them for the rest of, their existence. Looks like he probably should have gotten possibly number 1, number 2,
Yeah.
with how Trevor Lawrence hasn't, been. I mean, he's been okay with the Jaguars. Zach Wilson hasn't been that good, and neither has Trey Lance with limited playing time. Um, and also, Justin Fields could have been up there too in the top 3. But I mean, I think the Patriots could pull this off against the Titans. I'm gonna take the Patriots right here. It all depends if Julio Jones and AJ Brown are both playing, because if they are not playing, they are not going to win this game with their top 3 playmakers out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Patriots too, depending if AJ Brown and Julio Jones play. I don't think it matters. AJ Brown has not been productive this season. And Julio Jones, I haven't heard a single whisper about him since he got traded. And the Patriots are on absolute fire. Next game, battle in the NFC East. We have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Giants at home. Giants are at home. Who are you going to take?
Um, I mean, it's not really a battle of the NFC East, because Cowboys are going to win that division. It's battle for who gets a higher draft pick. Really, I mean, that's all it is. I think the Eagles are gonna, actually, yeah, I think the Eagles are gonna win this game. Yes, they're away, but I think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, could win this game against the Giants. I don't really know what to say because these teams are not good. But yeah, I think the Eagles are gonna win. They're better.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles too. They've been very, very productive this season. And let me just play this clip right here that you said on Know the Game episode 11 on August 16th about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Pretty much looks like that pick's gonna be a first round pick, or I don't know actually. But Jalen Hurts, I mean, if he can live up to what the Eagles are expecting him to play like, I think this team could possibly win 3 games.
Well, the Eagles are 5-6, so that prediction is not going to plan. I'm gonna pick the Eagles to win this game as well. Next game, Falcons on the road taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Another thing with the Falcons, I don't really know what they have been doing these past 2 weeks. They've scored pretty sure 3 points total that combined with their team these last 2 weeks. Scored a field goal against the Cowboys and then got shut out the next game. I think they're gonna take an L. Oh my God, who's the other team again? I want to blank on the other teams.
Jaguars.
Jaguars. Actually, yes, they are. The Jaguars are gonna win this game. You want to know why? Just because they are.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Jets, Texans.
Texans coming off a very good defensive games, very good defensive games. People thought Texans worst team, no Deshaun Watson, worst team. Tyrod Taylor is good. No, he's not. I think the Texans are gonna beat the Jets right here. Zach Wilson is not gonna play him. I don't know. Not paying attention to these terrible teams, but Texans are gonna win because Jets and Texans both suck. Because Texans are better somehow.
The Texans are a good 2-8. Give me the Texans. Chargers against the Broncos in Denver.
Mm.
This is a really
Yeah, this is big, huge for both of these teams. That's what. Okay.
dude.
Both these teams, Chargers, they were really hot going into the first couple games into the season. They're possibly the best team, one of the best teams in the. They were the best team in the AFC West, but Broncos, I think the Chargers are going to win this game, even though it's in Denver. I think the Chargers are a way better team than the Broncos. You got that weather that's not going to be good, especially in winter time. So if it comes down to a last second field goal, it's gonna hurt both. It's gonna hurt one of these two teams. I'm taking the Chargers here in Denver.
I'm gonna take the Broncos at home. I think the Chargers, they've lost a few games that you think they'd win. And this is another one that happens. This is another really good game. Rams, Packers in Green Bay.
Rams Packers in Green Bay. Wow. So the thing about the Rams is that they are a good team. The thing about the Packers is they are also a really good team. Now, I mean, the only thing that comes in play here is who has home field advantage. Because if the teams that are stacked the way that these two teams are, it all matters on who has home field advantage. And the Packers do. I'm going to take the Packers right here against the Rams. It's, you know, it's like first seed. I'm pretty sure the Packers have the first seed. And it's what, fifth seed? The second seed? It's first seed.
Cardinals.
Cardinals have the first seed.
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever. Pretty sure the Rams have like the fifth seed. They need to get higher seeds, obviously. But the Packers need to pull this game off right here to beat the Rams to have better hopes to beat them in the playoffs. Yeah, Packers over Rams.
Packers because they're at home. Vikings, Niners. Both these teams are 5-5.
Niners up there with the Dolphins that have been disappointing this season. Thought the Niners were going to be really good. Their defense, was injured last season. A lot of players were injured last season for the Niners, and they're back, not playing as well as everybody thought they would be playing. But they are playing the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to pull this off. I'm moving to 6-5. I just think the Vikings receivers are probably going to have a big game because if Dalvin Cook isn't playing, I don't know if he's playing or not. They have to have a big game. Vikings are going to win against the Niners.
I'm going to take the Vikings because I think the 49ers suck this season. Second to last game. This is a Sunday night football game. Cleveland Browns taking on the division rival Baltimore Ravens.
You just say right now that the 49ers were a disappointing team. I think the Browns are a pretty disappointing team. Ravens are really good. I'm going to take the Ravens over here. Lamar Jackson is going to be good. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Yeah, Browns are going to lose because Baker Mayfield is not good. Finally, Monday Night Football, Seahawks against the football team.
Seahawks, because if you lose to a team that has the football team as their name, you suck.
Washington, because the Seahawks are bad. All right, moving on to the next category. We have MLB. It's the MLB offseason. It's free agency time. It's trade time. And, there's a lot of urgency going around MLB offseason because December 1st is the last day of the CBA, and there's a looming lockout, looming strike, a looming lockout. So a lot of people, a lot of rumors and stuff is heating up right now. We've already had big signings in guys like Noah Syndergaard heading to the Angels and Stephen Matz going to the Cardinals. Where should we start off on here? Let's start off with the shortstops. This is the best free agency class for shortstops. You have Corey Seager, Trevor Story, Carlos Correa, Marcus Semien, and Javier Baez are the top 5 shortstop free agents. Let's go through. Where do you think each of these guys ends up going? Starting with Corey Seager.
As a Dodgers fan, you'd love to have Corey Seager back, but I don't think it's really going to happen, with all the money that the Dodgers, have. I don't know. I mean, I think that Corey Seager going to want a lot of money. Dodgers are going to want to pay him that much money. I think he's going to, go to the Yankees like he's, predicted to. I mean, he's going to go to the Yankees. Everybody's going to say that the Yankees are going to, make to the World Series, win the World Series, and they're going to get kicked out the wild card or series to the Yankees.
I'm going to say he re-signs with the Dodgers. I just think, he's been there his entire career. I think the guys the Dodgers are going to re-sign is going to be Kershaw, Chris Taylor, and Corey Seager. I think Max Scherzer is going to leave. I think Kenley Jansen's time as a Dodger is done. So I think Corey Seager re-signs with the Dodgers because I just don't think the Yankees are going to go out and sign a shortstop. They do have a top 15 prospect who is a shortstop. Next guy, Trevor Story.
You've seen rumors about him going to the Rangers or the Astros. It's all a matter of fact if Carlos Correa stays with the Astros, then he'd go to the Astros. Maybe, I don't know. He's not gonna go to the Rangers because Rangers are just like the Rockies. They suck. He's not gonna go to the Rangers. I don't know why everybody says he's going to the Rangers. He wants to win games. I think he's gonna go to the Astros. It's all a matter of fact if he goes if Carlos Correa stays with the Astros, he's not gonna go there. He's gonna go somewhere else. Don't know where, though. I think he's going to go to the Astros.
I think Trevor Story signs back with his buddy Nolan Arenado in St. Louis. The Cardinals need a shortstop. The shortstop production they've gotten from Paul DeJong has not been good. He's a terrible offensive player. And Trevor Story, he had a down there last season, but he's still one of the best shortstops in baseball. And you're not going to get him on an 8-year deal. You're not going to have to pay him $200 million. You can sign Trevor Story to 5 years, $150 million probably, and that's really going to be a really nice team in St. Louis in a very easy division. Next, we have Carlos Correa.
You've seen a lot of rumors going with Carlos Correa. I do not like Carlos Correa at all. And, the Tigers, I think he's going to go to the Tigers. Tigers looking to push, to be that good team in the future. They have a lot of, key prospects to do that with them, with guys like Spencer Torkelson. And, Carlos Correa, I think he's going to go to Tigers, not only because I hate Carlos Correa and I want him to go to a bad team so he can rot his career away. Actually, no, that is the reason why I want to have him go to the Tigers.
I'm going to have Carlos Correa go to the Philadelphia Phillies. This team has spent money on Bryce Harper, Zach Wheeler, JT Realmuto, and this team needs to make the playoffs. I think they need a shortstop. Carlos Correa is a guy that could go there in Philadelphia. I just think everybody picking Detroit, you have, in my opinion, when everyone picks something, you have to go and pick the other thing. Whether or not that works out most of the time doesn't matter. Sorry, this text message just threw me off. Anyways, Carlos Correa to the Phillies. Oh my gosh, please stop texting me. Marcus Semien, where do you think this guy is going to go? He was a top 3 MVP finisher for the second time.
Marcus Semien, I don't think the Blue Jays aren't gonna want to lose a guy like him, but I mean I think it is bound to happen maybe. If you were not to go to the Blue Jays, I think he'd go to the Phillies. But I think he's gonna stay with the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are gonna pay him big time money to stay with him or stay with them. He was really good this last season. I think he's gonna resign with the Blue Jays.
I'm gonna pick a team that for some reason is wanting to sign people when they should be clearly rebuilding. I'm gonna pick the Rangers. They've met with some shortstops and they want to spend money for some weird reason. I think Marcus Semien's the guy that they get. I think Semien's just gonna chase a bag and sign somewhere else. And the last shortstop we have, who played second base last season as well, Javi Baez.
Javi Baez, traded to the Mets, and they sucked after that. There was stuff during the season last year about if he wanted to, reunite with the Cubs, and he said, "Yeah, that'd be awesome to do that." I honestly, I don't think he goes to the Cubs. I think he's gonna go to the Nationals because the Nationals are in that rebuilding phase, obviously, because they traded away their whole team. He is 29, I believe. I think he's turning 29, or he is 29. He's gonna get a lot of money, a lot of years. The Nationals are looking for that another type guy that they can keep for long-term deal. They're gonna have Juan Soto for a pretty long time, hopefully, and I think Javier Baez is gonna help them in that rebuilding phase. I think he's going to the Nationals.
This is who I think the Tigers are going to sign. I think they're going to get Baez. Rumors are that he's met with them and talked with them. I think this is the guy they sign. This is probably their backup plan to Carlos Correa. Javier Baez had a really good season with the Mets, and he is a very confusing player. All right, moving on. We have another shortstop. but this guy is 20 years old and signed a really big extension. Gavin, what can you tell us about this Wander Franco extension?
Wander Franco, he was the number one prospect, got called up in the middle of the season, and he was a very big impact for this Rays baseball team. He was really good. Honestly, I think he got signed to 12 years or 11 years, $182 million with an option the next year to make it a $25 million option for 12 years. So in total, 12 years, $223 million right there for Juan Franco. And
Wow.
to think he'd be 30, 32, 33 when this contract is up, which is still pretty youngish. And he's 20 years old. I mean, honestly, if I were Juan Franco, I would have waited until maybe the middle of the season, at the end of the season, and then signed a bigger contract for more money, because I think the Rays are looking at this like, yo, this dude obviously is our future. Let's get him now when he's cheaper, barely played in the MLB. If I were him, I would have waited, maybe a little bit longer to sign a contract extension, but I think it's very huge for him, his family, and the Rays.
Yeah, I think this is big, and it's very different of the Rays to do. They are usually known as a team that trades people a few years before they're about to be free agents. And they don't sign guys to much money over like $10 million. If I were Wander Franco, though, I would have waited. Like you said, this is almost like the deal that the Braves got Ronald Acuna Jr. on. They signed him to an 8-year, $100 million deal. Absolute steal for the Braves. If I'm Wander Franco, I would have waited a few more seasons when you're one of the best shortstops in baseball. And then you can go out there and you can demand like $20, $30 million a season. The Rays wouldn't be able to pay you. Then you get traded or something. But it is a good move. He gets paid. The Rays have their shortstop for the next 12 years on their roster. The Angels, my favorite team. The story for the past few off seasons have been they need to get pitching. They finally signed a pitcher, Noah Syndergaard. How many do you think the Angels will sign more pitching?
The Angels have always been that team to sign, the biggest name in free agency for as much money as they can, and that's it. That's all they do. For example, Anthony Rendon. Anthony Rendon has been the biggest disappointment in all of baseball. He sucks, and he's never playing. Anyways, the Angels, they really do need pitching. Uh, Guys like Shohei, he's bound. I hate to say this, but he's bound to get injured at some point for pitching and then hitting, and it's gonna hurt his body a little bit. Getting a guy like Noah Syndergaard helps, even though it's for a 1-year deal. It helps a lot uh, for this pitching staff if they want to make that push to the postseason. And Aaron Loop, in the bullpen can be very, very big. That's okay. That Yes. He was big for the Mets. They didn't use him as much as they should have. He was
Yeah.
really good with the Mets, but they didn't use him at all. These two guys can help the Angels in a massive and a huge way.
I don't think the Angels are done, and I hope they're not done. Aaron Loop was a really good pickup. I never heard of this dude in my life until I had to look him up. And he's actually was really good last season. He had a sub-1 ERA with the Mets. Noah Syndergaard, also with the Mets, coming off Tommy John. But he's 2 years removed from that. He should be fully healthy and ready to dominate this season. I think the Angels are going to go out and they're going to sign 1 to 2 more guys. I think the guys that they could possibly sign are Marcus Stroman, Max Scherzer, and maybe even a guy like Kevin Gausman. Yeah, I definitely think the Angels are not done. Maybe even a relief pitcher. And then the offensive side is really set. Hopefully Anthony Rendon starts being good. Anything else you want to talk about in the MLB?
Uh, you know, there's some pitchers getting signed, re-signed. Alex Wood, Anthony DeSclafani getting signed with the Giants. Alex Wood for 2 years and Anthony DeSclafani for 3 years. They're really good for the Giants this year. You know, the Giants, best team in baseball last year. They could use these pitching staff, this extra pitching staff, if they don't get Kevin Gausman back.
Yeah, they both these guys were very good for the Giants. They do need to go out there and make moves. They had a very lucky season, you could say, last year. A lot of pieces fell into place. You can't count on luck to happen twice. So they need to go out and get some pitchers, and these guys are very good quality pitchers. And if they lose Kevin Gausman, maybe they can go out and sign someone else, like a Max Scherzer would be crazy. Bring them up north. Yeah, I guess speaking of the Bay Area, I guess this could be the last thing in the MLB area. The Oakland A's are about to enter a rebuild. They're about to trade a lot of guys. Their manager left to the Padres, and now it looks like they're going to be trading Matt Chapman and Matt Olson sooner rather than later. Matt Olson's one of the best first basemen in baseball, and a lot of rumors are, I mean, for him and for both of these guys, is the New York Yankees. What do you what would you have to say on these guys, where they go, anything?
Honestly, I don't think it's really that good of an idea, but I've also seen stuff with the Mariners, and let me tell you
Mm,
guys, if you guys think that either of these two guys are going to the Mariners, you guys are insane. You think they're going to trade like basically their best two players to their division rivals? You guys are idiots. Anyways, honestly, trading Matt Olson or even Matt Chapman, I don't think it could be that good of an idea. Matt Chapman really only is a glove. Matt Olson, you know, one of the best first basemen in baseball. I think they should at least try to keep him if they're going to keep anybody here. Him rather than Matt Chapman. I don't even know who they would go to. I mean, pretty much all the signing and trading predictions is always the Yankees, but it never actually is the Yankees.
yeah,
So honestly, I don't think they should get them out of here
I just
because
think
they
it's
have
it's
they have money to re-sign them to a longer extension, but the A's don't know how to spend money.
yeah, their payroll is going to be less than $40 million this season, which is absolutely insane because Trevor Bauer salary is $40 million for next season. So they're paying their whole roster what Trevor Bauer is going to make,
For
whether
literally
or not he
anything.
plays. Um, but the Oakland A's, their franchise value is worth $1.1 billion, and they don't spend any money because they don't think they have money, but they do. The Oakland A's are a weird franchise. Yeah, so that's gonna wrap it up for the MLB on this episode. Once again, just a little quick plug. Know the Game is available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, or however you listen to your podcast. Go check out the Instagram, no.the.game, and tell people. All right, NBA. The Warriors have lost 2 games, and Steph Curry is like an MVP frontrunner. I mean, they are looking unstoppable, and they don't even have Klay Thompson back from injury yet. This team is scary, and they are about to get way more scary when they add Klay Thompson back. Can anyone beat this team, and are they your favorites?
Um, you know, the Warriors are looking like 2016 Warriors. Uh, if you take Steph Curry out of this mix, who knows? But you don't even have your second best player on the team. You don't even have him, and uh, you're telling me that you're first in all of baseball right now. Uh, or not baseball, NBA. You're first in all NBA right now. I think the Warriors are the favorites to win the NBA Finals right now. So, you know, getting Klay Thompson back this season and sooner rather than later would help them a ton.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Warriors are going to probably win the 1 seed in the Western Conference. They've had so many good guys. Jordan, what's that guy's name? Jordan Poole, I think is his name. Very good player. Steph Curry is obviously like the best point guard in the league, one of the best players in the league. Going to win his third MVP. Draymond Green, Steve Kerr, this whole squad is playing amazing, and Steph Curry is the MVP frontrunner right now. I don't think this team can be stopped, and this is like vintage Warriors dynasty coming back alive. Jalen Green, the rookie for the Houston Rockets, former second overall pick last year, missing some time with a hamstring injury. This really shouldn't impact the Rockets at all, as the Rockets have only won 2 games this season. They have been absolutely horrible. Jalen Green doesn't help at all. He's just putting out empty stats, and this entire Houston Rockets team sucks. Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Green, he has been really good for the Rockets. You say about empty stats. You always talk about empty stats. You say how Zach LaVine put up empty stats. Look at him now. Look at him now, Connor. What about his empty stats? Anyways,
they're not so empty anymore.
Yeah. Jalen Green is gonna suck. I mean, not for the Rockets. That's gonna suck. His Rookie of the Year voting is all that matters about this. Whether he is out for a significant time. If he's only out for a couple weeks, or only out for 1 week, I mean, if he's out for a couple weeks more, it's gonna affect his Rookie of the Year voting a lot, and that's all that really matters about this injury, because the Rockets are not going anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna say this again about how I said about the Eagles. Without Jalen Green, Rockets winning 16 games, 17 games at most.
I think the most games that team can win is about 3, and they have 2 wins this season. So I don't know when this next win's gonna come, but it's
Also, if they're gonna trade John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall's not gonna get traded anywhere. He has like the biggest contract on earth. I guess with Jalen Green being injured in his Rookie of the Year case, another guy who currently is missing time but is in the Rookie of the Year race as well, Evan Mobley, former alumni of my high school. And then even another guy who's in the MVP race is Scotty Barnes. Which of those guys do you think is the MVP frontrunner, and who do you think is going to win that award?
The MVP frontrunner?
Sorry, Rookie of the Year. MVP. You never know. Rookie of the Year frontrunner.
I mean, if Evan Mobley can stay healthy, I think it would be Evan Mobley, honestly, because he's just really good. But I think right now, Scotty Barnes, he is a frontrunner. I mean, he is the best rookie out of all rookies. Cade Cunningham is not as good as everybody thought he was. Yeah, he missed some time, but he's not good. I think Scotty Barnes is going to be good.
Oh, yeah, Scotty Barnes. I didn't think he was going to get drafted as high as he did, especially the Raptors. I thought he should have went somewhere else. But he's really proven that wrong. He's playing very, very good this season. Ben Simmons is apparently going broke because he hasn't played all these fines. I don't really know how accurate that is, because he's like worth a lot of money.
Broke. He's going broke because of the fines and his ridiculous spending habit.
Yeah, well, why don't you just stop spending money and start playing basketball again? And then finally, Kyle Kuzma is the first ever member of the Know the Game meme team. I feel like we're going to start adding to this, whether it's on the Instagram or on the podcast. We're going to start adding to the meme team. Then we'll give a recap someday in the future. Yeah, so Kyle Kuzma, congratulations for being the first ever member to enter the meme team. This is why we'll put a picture up on the screen on the podcast on YouTube. This absolutely atrocious outfit that he was wearing. Gavin sent it to me, and I almost died. I mean, like, what the heck was that?
He was wearing a all pink sweater, pink sweater, that looked like it fit on it. The giant from Jack and the Beanstalk. Like it it was so huge. It went over his hands by like 30 inches. His hands, like the sleeves, you, what are the point of the sleeves? Like, what are the point of having hands if you're wearing that sweater?
Yeah, I don't even know like why. He probably thinks that's drip, and he probably thinks that's the drippiest thing he's ever worn. That's not drip; it's sweat. Okay.
As a Lakers fan, I've seen so much drip from Kyle Kuzma. I've seen so much clothes. What is this dude's wardrobe? I want to see a picture of it because I don't know where he's buying these clothes from.
I would definitely say we have improved our style game with Russell Westbrook. Not saying it's super good. I think how they both dress bad. Westbrook definitely dresses better than Kyle Kuzma, but not by much. They still both suck. Okay. Which should we do first? Do you want to do this ranking or talk about college football?
I think that about college football.
All right. College football. The college football playoff top 4 was announced on Tuesday, Thanksgiving week. Top 4 goes Georgia 1, Ohio State number 2, Alabama number 3, and Cincinnati number 4. This is a big weekend. Also, Michigan is number 5, and Ohio State and
Notre
Michigan play
Dame.
on.
That was
No,
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's 6.
Oh yeah.
Michigan's 5. But Ohio State and Michigan play on Saturday, and Ohio State has won like every matchup to ever be played between these two teams. I don't know how it's a rivalry. When Michigan gets clapped every single year, but if Michigan wins and Ohio State loses, Michigan will most likely make the college football playoff. But the main point I want to bring up, Georgia and Alabama are going to play in the SEC championship game.
December 4th.
Georgia has not lost a game, and Alabama has lost 1. If
Texas A&M.
Alabama loses the SEC championship, do you think they get into the college football playoff, and should they get in?
I think they would get in, but I don't think they should get in.
Yeah.
Because it's Alabama, and I don't think they should get in. Because one, they lost to Texas A&M, and 2, they lost to Texas A&M.
Yes. I think if they lose to Georgia, you could see it. And let's say Ohio State beats Michigan, you could see Georgia, Ohio State, Cincinnati, and then maybe even Notre Dame making the college football playoff. But then in the end, it's just going to come down to Georgia and Ohio State playing in the championship because Cincinnati is going to lose to one of these top schools when they get in, and Notre Dame every single year that they've made it get blown out of town. Yeah.
Speaking of Cincinnati, me and Hunter were just watching the Cincinnati game right today against Eastern Carolina or something like that.
Yeah.
If they play anything like they just did, I know they won the game by a lot. Watch the
They didn't play good though.
first quarter, maybe into the second quarter. It was Cincinnati was terrible. Like first quarter, they were losing like 3-0. They were losing like 3-0 the whole basically first quarter. It was a bad game. If they play anything like that, they're gonna get demolished by Georgia or whoever they're gonna play in round 1.
Yes. All right. I guess we're gonna end it off here with a top 3 ranking. There's not enough people to necessarily do a draft because it's just 2 of us. So we're gonna do a ranking. We're gonna give our. It is officially, in my opinion, Christmas season. It is now okay to start celebrating Christmas. Our top 3 Christmas songs. Gavin, what is your number 3 Christmas song?
Number 3, I'm gonna say Jingle Bell Rock.
Okay.
Now,
Anything to
fun
say?
fact about Jingle, I think it was Jingle Bell. I think it was Jingle Bell Rocks or either Jingle Bell, one of the two. Fun fact about that, it was actually, uh, when the song was made, it was actually meant to be for Thanksgiving. Fun fact.
What,
Yeah,
bro?
pretty
How?
weird. I don't know. That's what my language arts teacher, my English teacher, my social studies teacher, whatever. That's what she told us. I was like, what the heck? How does that even work?
My number 3 is "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" by Frank Sinatra. This one is number 3 for me. Just because it's a nice, slower Christmas song. Very nice slow pace with Sinatra's beautiful voice. Yeah. What is your number 2?
My number two is it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah, that's probably, if this number one was not existing, obviously that'd be my number one. But this Christmas song is an absolute classic. Used to hear this. I used to bump this in my car when I in the '90s, bro. Top
Straight
notch.
up. My number 2 is Jingle Bell Rock. I mean, this thing it makes my ears do things that I didn't even know was possible that ears could do. Um, it's just such a beautiful song. I mean, like everything about it is. I think I tried learning this song on guitar, and when I used to take guitar class in like freshman year of high school. Yeah. What is your number 1 Christmas song?
This song, about 2, 3 years ago, I stayed up uh, a long time listening to this song on a repeat. Uh, this song is probably the best Christmas song to ever exist ever. Uh, Probably one of the best songs to ever exist ever. Um, Props to Mariah Carey for All I Want for Christmas
Wow,
Is You.
no way, bro. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, this song is amazing. It's probably the best song ever, you know? I don't want a lot of presents, but all I want for Christmas is you, not you, not you. That's the lyrics of the song.
I'm very surprised that you put that. I think that is one of the most overrated Christmas songs. My number 1, this is my favorite song. I love the guitar on it, and I love this woman's scratchy voice. "Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree." I mean, this song is like I hear this song in Home Alone 1, in the house party scene. Um, and I also think of this song, I just think of like 1950s for some reason. That's why I think of 1950s, 60s. This song is just it's beautiful, bro. It's so good. Um, yeah, hopefully I can put audio clips of the
Christmas
songs in
tree
here
in a
without getting
happy
like in trouble by copyright.
Bro, I need to talk about this right now, bro. I just saw that it says LeBron James was just fined $15,000 for an obscene gesture that he made after scoring a shot. If you don't know what he did, he grabbed
Oh
his balls.
yeah. Dang. He also only got suspended 1 game for that fight with Isaiah Stewart. He should have got suspended more.
Yeah, but it's LeBron James.
Yeah, he is the NBA.
Well, to be
But
honest, if this was anybody else, they'd be fined more money.
yeah, the Mets just signed Mark Canha, or about to. That's cool.
Boy, rocking
Zion Williamson has been
Christmas
cleared
tree.
for full basketball activities. So Zion's finally going to play after sitting on the couch and eating gumbo for the past 3 months.
Oh, okay, Connor. Going around the room. What did you learn today?
I learned that Jingle Bell Rock was originally going to be a Thanksgiving song. What did you learn today?
I learned that we are making an NBA meme team, and Kyle Kuzma
Know the
being that
game meme
first
team, not
person.
just NBA.
No,
It's not
yeah, oh yeah,
strictly.
that's what I
Yes.
meant.
Yeah.
Know the game
Yeah.
meme team. Kyle Kuzma being the first official member of the Know the Game meme team. We are proudly, we were happy to have you, Kyle Kuzma. If you're watching this, probably not. Thank you for
Yeah,
being
Kyle
weird.
Kuzma, come on the podcast. Pause. Join us on the podcast with your wonky
Join
fits.
us, yeah, and wear a dumb fit. Like,
Yeah,
never mind. Wear a normal fit because you probably will be dumb.
yeah. Know the game merch. I don't
John
know.
Morant has a torn
Let's.
ACL.
No way.
It says he's walking to the locker room and can't put any pressure on his leg.
Oh yeah, John Morant's gonna have like a torn ACL. R.I.P. his career. Next, Derrick Rose. Hopefully not. Yeah, know the game merch. Forget we're gonna make it. Follow the Instagram. No.the.game.
No cap. No caps.
No caps, no spaces, just no.the.game on Instagram.
No,
I
it's
hate
not. It's not.
saying
It's not. You don't actually spell the word dot. It's a period.
no period the period game. Yeah, and then we'll even make a Kyle Kuzma shirt with a picture of his shirt on the shirt, and we'll make T-shirts and stickers. Yeah, that's gonna do it though for this episode 13 of Know the Game. Available on YouTube, Spotify, and what?
Apple
Podcast.
Apple's podcast.
All right, Gavin, you can do the outro. I already started, but
We're rocking around Christmas tree,
let
and we're saying goodbye today.